Yes, that's it. Go on. And hate her. Hate all of them. Hate all of them with all your heart and soul. The more you hate, the stronger I get. I'll have my body back, whether you'll give it willingly or not. Sunset blocked the voice with tremendous effort. Taking several deep breaths against the heat, she focused on her parents and old friends. Pony she couldn't hate. The fire quelled to embers as she opened her eyes to see 7 apprehensive faces looking at her. There they were, the look Sunset knew she would receive eventually. Tears found their way to the corners of her eyes. She looked to the ground. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell like that. Oh, that was my favorite part. Sunset jerked her head upwards, finding the past version of herself lazily reclining on the tree branch. Sunset felt her hatred return, but it didn't burn her as before. Vesper rolled out the branch and fell to the ground between Sunset and the rest of her friends, sliding to a graceful stop just before she touched the ground. You! Rainbow spread her wings and lunged for her. Vesper vanished with a quick flash, leaving Rainbow to slam headfirst into Sunset, both of them careening back into the tree. Really? Vesper said in a monotone voice after reappearing. Are you going to try that every time we meet? Sunset shoved Rainbow off and stood up, shaking the leaves from her mane. What did you want? She said, fire spitting from her mouth. I just came to talk, she said, her tongue laced with poison honey. Honest this time. No schemes, just a conversation. I find that hard to believe. Twice said, her horn charged. Believe what you will, but for once, I'm not here to talk to you, oh princess. Vesper locked eyes with Sunset. I'm here to talk to Sunset Shimmer. And why should I listen to you? Because I'm you. Or rather, you're me. You came second after all. Not as good as your rental, but still valuable to some degree. Vesper smiled. Yes, I heard your entire tale. And somewhere inside me, I knew you were telling the truth. She stepped closer, widening her smile. My own reincarnation. How fascinating. Truly, it's as if the universe wants me, wants us to win. Sunset narrowed her eyes. You make it sound like I'm going to help you. And why wouldn't you? Vesper said silkily. Come now, Sunset Shimmer. We're the same pony. Why wouldn't you want to help yourself to glory? We're not the same pony! Sunset roared. Her volume could drown out the lie. Vesper continued to smile. Don't try to fool yourself, Sunset. We're nearly identical, inside and out. I just happen to be better. Rainbow put a wing around Sunset. Liar! You girls might look the same. Maybe she's your reincarnation or whatever, but she's way better than you! So you still got a moral compass. Applejack shouted from behind Vesper. Moral compass? Vesper raised an amused eyebrow. Really? Then how do you explain with what happened to poor Caro? Sunset froze. The memory of the griffin's eyes going dull and the needle of the rock piercing his heart, pulling back at her amazing. How do you... Rainbow tightened her wing around Sunset's shoulders. What's he talking about? I accidentally killed... Sandpaper rubbed against Sunset's tongue. That was different! That was self-defense! He tried to kill me first! Killing in defense sounds a lot like murder to me, Vesper said, playing with the front lock of her hair. The same lock Sunset had sliced off herself the day before. Admit it. You even got a rest from it. Part of you enjoyed making him suffer. I didn't. Sunset's breath quickened as her chest squeezed her car again. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like killing him. Even if he did deserve it. Even if they all deserved it. Her pupils dilated. Her mind already traced at the end of that train of thought. Anger bubbled through her again, and she pushed Rainbow's wing off. Shut up! She launched a fireball at Vesper and teleported again, allowing the blaze to continue onward towards the others. Whoa! Tayo threw up her shield just before the fire could touch her. Sunset was about to apologize when she heard a voice whisper in her ear. See, Feels good to let your anger go, doesn't it? She whipped her head around, quickly throwing a narrow fireball into empty air. It sailed across the park, startling several picnickers, but extinguished itself before hitting them. Vesper reappeared on Rainbow's other side. Deep down inside, you're feeling everything I've felt. I know you are. Sunset twisted and fired again, forcing Rainbow to drop to the ground. Sunset, what's with you throwing those things? She yelled, sensing the tips of her remains in the pads overhead. Sunset ignored her, shooting again when Vesper appeared next to Rarity and said, just because you think you had a mommy and daddy who loved you. To everyone else, you're expendable. Shut up! You were an accident, Burden. No one wanted. That's why the princesses tried to get rid of you. Shut up! Shut up! You're better off joining me, Sunset. I can give you a future. I can give you a better purpose. Because I know you know how this is going to end. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! The truth is, you don't have any friends. You don't have any family. Everything you are is borrowed and copied. You're a poor dude replica destined to die. Wham! Sunset halted her attack, eyes wide and mouth open. Her friends, now scattered across the hillside for dodging her fireballs, copied the expression as they all stared at fixed jaw. Shut up, Sunset said coldly, her hoof still raised. Vesper stood rooted in place, her head turned slightly toward the side, her cheek bearing as red spots. Sunset isn't a replica. She isn't anything like you. She has friends and family who care about her. She has a good heart and is trying to do anything. She isn't destined to die. She's destined to beat you and help fix everything you've messed up. A quick smile made its way across Vesper's face. Naive simpleton. You don't get it, do you? She whipped around. Her silver dagger flashed in the air, striking at Fluttershy's throat. Sunset was faster. The dagger struck a blue shield an inch away from Fluttershy, who, for her part, had not flinched. Don't you dare. Sunset growled, now standing next to Fluttershy. Vesper laughed and retracted her dagger. Still want to try and play the hero. You're a lot of things, Replica, but you're no hero. Why try and defend him now? You're gonna kill them later anyway. The brief calm Fluttershy given Sunset was gone. Like the gathering storm overhead, black clouds swirled around Sunset's heart. She made a lunge for Vesper. Vesper merely took back and laughed again. Oh, do you hate me, Replica? Or do you hate yourself? Sunset fired a tail of light, but Vesper was already gone. Come on then, Sunset Shimmer. Come after me. Sunset, no! Sunset ignored the laughter in ears. Not even looking back at Fluttershy, she teleported. She reappeared in what appeared to be a market square. Stalls and carts laden with fruits and jewelry surrounded her in the cross-section of 4 streets. Ponies jumped at her initial appearance, but paid her no mind afterwards. She jerked her head around for any sign of Vesper. Where are you, you unholy? A screech came from above her, such its only warning before she saw the inferno slipping down at her. She grabbed it with her magic and hurled it back at the source, ignoring the screaming around her. Fire struck the roof of a tall building, catching it in a blaze. Sunset scanned the rooftop, but found no trace of Vesper. She brought her eyes down to the panicking crowd. Through them, she caught the tail end of a black cloak fancy down the North Road. Sunset gave chase, shoving ponies who stood in her path. Stupid ponies! Get out of my way so I can get a clear shot! She materialized to death, threw it over the bustling crowd, but only managed to stank an elderly fruit vendor. She now paused to untie him. The ponies learned to get out of her way, but Sunset still refused to use anything lethal without worrying about injuring some pony. Who cares? Just do it. What's one injury to gain what you want? Sunset tried to close the grapple of a teleport, but when she came out of it, Vesper had vanished again. She raised her head to the heavens and let out a short yell. Cut off when her peripheral vision caught a fiery mane moving atop of one of the buildings. Get back here! Sunset yelled. She teleported up, finding Vesper running across the rooftop. Sunset gave chase, throwing a blinking coil at Vesper's hose. Vesper jumped, and a sudden strong gust of wind propelled next roof to her. With the moisture in the air, Sunset crafted an ice bridge over the gap between buildings and skated across it, throwing more fire all the while. All her shots were missed or blocked by Vesper's shields. She only returned fire occasionally. Her conflagrations were much larger and higher than Sunset's. She pressed on, a dull leg thrilled her in her wounded shoulder. With a growl of frustration, Sunset teleported in front of Vesper, struck a vertical wave of energy, and left her right in the stone roof. Vesper dove to the side of the building and into the alley below. Sunset teleported behind her, and with a pulse of hatred, sowed black needles through the alley walls to bar Vesper's passage. Vesper tried to jump through as they extended, only to have her shoulder pierced by one. Where she could pull it out, another stabbed her opposite shoulder. Both needles slid up the wall, hoisting Vesper in the air above Sunset. Black smoke clung to the corners of Sunset's eyes as he served Vesper with a voracious smile. No more running for you. Vesper grimaced, trying to move her shoulder, but as Sunset stepped closer, she put on a wry smile. Oh, are you going to try to kill me, Sunset? Do you have the guts to do it? Another needle extended from the far wall and stabbed Vesper in the foreleg. She let out a silent scream before bursting into laughter. You're just full of surprises, aren't you, little replica? Killing your past self. I'm honestly more amused than terrified right now. You should be scared, Sunset shouted. I'm going to tear you limb from limb and enjoy every second of it. Vesper grinned. That sounds like something I would do. See, we are one and the same. We are not! Sunset stabbed Vesper in the opposite arm. Once the blood dripped down to the alley floor. Her blood. The same blood. Sunset staggered back, bumping against the wall. What was she doing? Killing myself. The same point. We are the same point. But she needs to be stopped. I know you figured it out, Sunset. Vesper's words drifted out of the ears like a fine mist. You're smarter than those filthy moanings you tried to guard yourself with. You know what happens if I lose. If destiny is not carried out as already written. Do you want to do that for yourself? I'll give you a future, Sunset. A better future. We'll rule the whole world. That is our destiny. Sunset! You know, Vesper, it would really suck if Sunset looked at you straight in the eyes and said, what do you care? You already called me a replica. You already said I'm not real. So if I kill you, you won't care in the least, will you? I did stab you. I'm just saying. If Sunset was not stopped, if she killed you, you would not be reincarnated. Sunset would not be born. And you would be a lifeless corpse. The only reason why you're so confident right now is you're scared. You are scared out of your mind. You know Sunset can win. You know that they have a chance at winning. So you're trying to pull this off in the hopes that Sunset, broken as she is right now, will give you this chance. But I reiterate, if Sunset was not broken, what was stopping her from killing you and stopping your plan? Or, Vesper said, you could pair us with the rest of them. The choice is yours. Before Twilight could reach them, Vesper's horn glowed as she vanished in a red light, leaving the black blood-stained needles behind. Twilight doubled over when she came to a halt before Sunset. What happened? You just disappeared. Sunset looked blankly at the wall before she regarded Twilight. I chased after Vesper, Radiance. I had her until you interfered. The fire lit her up inside. You always interfere. Twilight straightened up. What do you mean? What did I interfere with? Really? Sunset glared at Twilight. I just told you the whole story and you're asking why? Vesper was right. You are stupid. What? Twilight teared back like she had been sucker punched. Sunset, why are you... Please, just talk to me. Talk to you? I already did that. I just found out I'm the reincarnation of the most evil creature to walk the face of the earth, and the rest of my existence is meaningless. Sunset, that's not true. Not true, Sunset yelled. You still don't understand. My life, my entire existence, not only is it borrowed, it's founded on circumstance. Circumstances you asked me to change. You had the gall to ask me to forgive you. She squeezed her eyes shut, trying to force the image of Twilight being dragged to the spear of darkness from her mind. Never. Not this lifetime, and I should be so lucky. Not in the next one. Twilight's eyes weighted in tears. Are you saying if we stop Vesper, you'll die? Sunset threw her head back and laughed. Die? I wish. Dying means I might go somewhere. If Vesper Radiant loses, if she dies or the Dark Regalia is destroyed, I don't die. I cease to exist! Counterpoint, Sunset. Either way, you would be non-existent. Because if you stop Vesper Radiance, then the circumstances of Vesper Radiance coming to being born will never happen. So thus, you would never come back in time to begin with. So thus, the you that's currently there, will disappear. It's called a paradox. Lawrence bounced away through the alleyway and went up to the bleak sky. A single tear of rain came down and splashed on Sunset's forehead. We are the same pony, she said wearily. That's the proof right there. My destiny is tied to hers. That was the howlness eating away at her own frail mortality being pulled in oblivion. Nothing, she said softly. That's my fate. To become nothing. Death would actually be a mercy now. No, Twilight whimpered. That can't be right. You exist. You're right here. You can't just not exist anymore. That's not possible. Ari's pleaded with Sunset. That's not possible, right? Starshow's time spell was supposed to rewrite what had happened. The ultimate redo spell. So you tell me it's impossible. We're one soul recycled. If her soul never reincarnates to me, well then, that's it. It's over. But a soul's an eternal thing. So even if Vesper were to die, she would reincarnate you into anyway. I'm just saying, Vesper. I'm just saying, Sunny. I don't think you understand how time travel paradoxes work. Or reincarnation works, for that matter, because you seem to have this belief that just because you're reincarnated doesn't mean you exist. Do the avatars not exist? Twilight started to panic again, her face contorted with hopeless fear. Then we'll just hide the regalia and lock Vesper up. Or we'll ask Celestia for the elements of harmony and hit her with them, and because that worked so well the first time. Sunset! Pay attention! It did work well! You got reincarnated to be a better person! Come on! Do not ruin this fic for me! You're being an idiot! Alright. You got reincarnated. You were born to another set of parents. Thanks to your soul being reincarnated into two sets of new parents. They are your parents still. It's just that your soul got reincarnated thanks to the elements. If they did not care, they would have let your soul fade away into oblivion. Twilight raised a hoof. Sunset, I do care. No, you don't. If you cared, you never would have put me through this. You would have gambled with my existence. Problem again. This is not gambling. Even if you did, even if Twilight did not do this, still would have had to go back in time to stop me in the first place. You still would have been wiped out. If she did not care, they would have done what I would have done and just wiped you off the face of the earth in the first place. You would have just left me one piece instead of splitting me up and making me go kill myself twice. Not technically. See, if they didn't care, they would have just vaporized your ass. Sunset shook her again. No, this is just punishment to make me pay for my sins, isn't it? Revenge for what I did and what I'm going to do. Raise me up and then tear me down. You know, Vic, you know how you can redeem yourself at this point? Have Twilight deck, Sunset. And they go, okay, fine. Actually, let me rewrite this part. Twilight rolled her eyes and go, all right, fine. You want to believe that? You really want to put all that? You don't have any regalia. You're just as powerful as I am. Let's go outside of the town right now. You, me, magic duel. And I don't mean that magic duel me and Trixie went through. I mean a bona fide magic duel. Fire, no limits, nothing. You, me, one-on-one right now. If that's what it's going to take to get through that hard head of yours, then let's do this. Let's go. Or are you scared? Because it seems to me that the real Sunset Shimmer would have a spine. Hatred pulsed in her soul again, and a voice hissed. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sunset pushed it down with strenuous effort. Sunset, that isn't true. None of it's true, Twilight said. I would never do anything like that. You're my friend. I wasn't your friend the first time around, was I? I was just a villain who needed to be stopped. Hurts your mentor, best friend. Twilight's voice shook. Sunset, stop this. It's not true. I care about you now, and I cared about you back then. Sunset looked at the pain on Twilight's face. Nothing stirred in her heart. Nothing but the aching truth and the emptiness devouring her. I don't believe you. I just don't. Not anymore. All of her memories of Princess Twilight, every happy moment, every great lesson, every laugh, even every scolding, Sunset banished them to the farthest corners of her heart, hoping the pain wouldn't reach her from there. Lies. That's all they are now. Lies of a false reality. She couldn't stand being in Twilight's presence any longer. She took a deep breath and walked into Twilight's direction. She was heading for the mouth of the alley. I'll meet you at the station later. So, you're angry at her. You hate her. But you're still willing to wipe yourself out from existence. Sunset didn't know where she was going. She just knew it had to be away from here. She stopped at Twilight's shoulder and bowed her head low. This time the anger came to her, not hot and erupting like a volcano, cold and piercing. The words sat in her mouth, a sword ready to be unsheathed. She rested her tongue between her teeth and bit down hard. She could not stop the words from being drawn as she thrust into Twilight's heart. I hate you. She didn't wait to see if Twilight would fight back, if she would counter in any way. Sunset kept walking, feeling tiny droplets of rain prick at her coat. Twilight made no move to follow her. Though Sunset was certain she was hurt as the sniffle scene left. Please! Vic! Give this to me! Duel! Sunset! Twilight! Come on! Every other story that would pull this off would have that! I know several other tales would do it! I would do that! Come on! Somebody please give me a duel! Just this once! Just this once! I want an argument between any member of the main six and they engage in fisticuffs! Please just give this to me! Sunset took the longest route possible back to the park she started at. Where consciously or not, she couldn't say. With hose cleft in iron, she came to rest at the edge of the pond. The rest of the park was empty, with sole of her earlier display of pyromancy. She found small solace in silence. She could barely contend with the emotions swirling inside her alone. She didn't need an audience. She repeated it all in her head. Everything she had learned, everything she had knew. She had said it out loud, but didn't feel real. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. Lily had been wrong. Telling her friends had not made her better. In fact, their support only made her feel worse. Yeah, and you pushed it away. Moron! Asshole! Idiot! Do any of these ring clear to you, Sonny? She wanted to cling life even more desperately now. Well, it was because of that she couldn't seek a way out. You had a way out earlier, not 5 seconds ago. Following any other path than that was laid in front of her would be senseless. Sunset gnashed her teeth together. That's why you gave me all those friendship lessons, isn't it? That's why you wanted me to be a student. You get me to care. You get me to be selfless and want to help my friends. Well, I hope you're happy, Princess. It worked. I care too much to walk away. I care too much. So many faces flashed in her mind. Friends and family and ponies she didn't even know. Seen so many times. They're all doomed if she didn't help. She didn't make a sacrifice that would cost her everything. I repeat, you would fade away anyway. How did one simply cease to exist? Where would she go? Was Twilight right? Was there a possibility she could exist? Look, Sunset, you are obviously going through some very heavy stupidity issues. I'm going to let you work through it. I'm going to go get myself a drink. Doodles. Sunset shook her head. She knew it was a foolish wish. There was no point in clinging to such a faint hope. She would stop Vesper Radiance and would stop herself. She would vanish into the ether. Near her wire, she took in a reflection like it was the last time she would see it. So for many years she thought of her own. Now she understood why that was only half true. The rippling face looked back at her. Lines of defeat came to her cheeks and hopelessness in her eyes. The point before sunset looked like she already lost the battle. Her face twisted and sneered at her. What's the matter, Sunset? You don't like the truth? Sunset struck out and slapped the wire, snarling in disgust, while the reflection just laughed. How does it feel to know your hero lied to you all these years? You're nothing more than a shadow, an echo across time. The real you is right. Everything about you is borrowed. You poor, poor little hand-me-down. Shut up! I'm not a hand-me-down. I'm a pony. I am a pony! I am a man! Woo! Oh, sweet! More dice! You're a scapegoat. Sunset pressed her hose against her ears, but it did nothing to drown out her sorrow's laughter. She was more than just an accident. She was more than just a reincarnation. She was more than a scapegoat. She had to be. She was more than a recycled life. A phantom full of hatred, she forced herself to be born again. Hallelujah! Not that born again. Was it see? No matter how many times she repeated it, it never struck. She wasn't her own pony. Everything she owned was borrowed from her previous twisted life. Even her very soul was something she borrowed. Really? Your family? Your friends? I'm pretty positive Sunset never met. Oh, I forgot. You're still being an idiot. I'm still nursing my alcohol. Her soul. She could feel it writhing and seething with anger, heat, and sorrow. How much of it was hers, and how much belonged to the other Sunset? How much was just emotion carried over? Or did it even matter? Right then and there, Sunset could take all of it for herself. Life had been nothing more than a half-truth at best. Private joke for Princess Twilight. Sunset reached down for her hourglass and ripped the cord from her neck. She placed it in one hoof and leaned back, ready to throw as far as she could into the pond. It meant nothing now. She could never return home, but there's no to go back home to. Destiny had been sealed the second she had left. It had been sealed the second she had been born. The hourglass sat in her hoof, waiting to be thrown. Sunset gritted her teeth, tensing every muscle in her foreleg. She held that persistent for eons, growing more and more determined to be rid of the horrible machination, but never let her grip. Sunset brought it down and hugged it tight against her chest, warm tears falling in Tuva's golden plates. I can't do it. I can't. I just can't, she sobbed. She hated the stupid hourglass so much. Nothing more than an empty promise now. It was the last thing she had in her own life. The last link to normalcy. She watched the sand fall down to the bottom half. That was her. She was the bottom bulb and Vesper was the top. Everything that had been Vesper's fell into hers. Only her friends and family strictly to belong to her. That was it. Her mom, dad, friends, those were the only things she could claim as her own. She had been forced to give them up. She would have to create a future where she never existed and they never got to know her. You forget about Sunset Simmer. Raindrops fell out of the starry sky. Yeah! Finally picking up into a heavy drizzle. Sunset didn't care. She sat in a spot in the grass, clutching the hourglass to her barrel like it would try to run away. Rainwater merged with her tears and soaked her face, while her mane stuck to her cheeks in thick ropes. She took small comfort into knowing that those tears were hers alone. Oh, by the way, see, I don't just make fun of bad fics. I do poke out at the inconsistencies and stupidity of fics I like. And make no bones about it. I do enjoy this fic. A lot. But this part just annoys me.